We know it's not really us doing it. We know Hashem is doing it. But on the other hand, you can't just sit by passively and do nothing. So there's sort of this dance between our human effort through natural means, non-miraculous means, and Hashem's participation, which is the miraculous stuff from heaven. I think in order to help answer this question, it's helpful to understand. Well, I'll change the question a little bit. Since it's all a miracle anyway, especially Shidduchim, and that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about a Shidduch, which is Kosher Kekriyas Yamsuf. It's a greater miracle than the splitting of the sea, or as great as the splitting of the sea, meaning it's a supernatural event. So if the whole thing's miraculous, why should there be any human effort at all? That's one way to look at it, right? Okay, so, and this might help be a guiding principle as you try to apply this to your own situation. How much ishtadlus, how much effort? The purpose of ishtadlus is really, it's a funny thing. Our efforts don't actually create anything. They don't actually make anything. What they do is they hold out a vessel to catch the flow of blessing. We need something for the flow of blessing. The blessing is miraculous, but we want that miracle to happen here in this world, in the physical world. We don't want it to stay in heaven. Even if it's a match made in heaven, we want it to transpire here on earth. So we need something earthly to catch the blessing, so to speak. And that's why we have to go through doing things the normal way. A resume, you pick up the phone, you call again. I mean, any type of human effort is just, it's a vessel to catch the blessing. Mm-hmm. And then the question is well, why? I get this idea that, like I mentioned, that we want to translate the spirituality into something practical. It shouldn't remain, Shidduchim can remain abstract. I mean, you know this, that the Shidduch is made, that really the match is made before the birth or even the conception of the child. So those things can remain, like, in theory, and sort of not come into fruition here in the physical world. So we said you have to do things in the physical world that will sort of absorb the blessing, but there's also another aspect of it, which is plausible deniability. Hashem needs an alibi. He needs to have a cover story so that not every shidduch should qualify for stories of hope. Okay? Some shidduchim have to be like, it looks like it just happened because you had the right shadchan, or whatever, the right connections, or whatever. There has to be some cover story that doesn't make it look like an overt miracle, even though the reality is that every single shidduch is completely nothing but a miracle. Okay, so then when you're trying to figure out the hishtadlus part, please take the pressure off of yourself to think that the hishtadlus is generating something, and therefore, if you want results, you have to work harder. Because first of all, that's just stressing yourself out. Second of all, it's not theologically true. Maybe the second of all is the first of all. I don't know. I'm not sure which one is the more important, the stress or the theology, but they're both important. Okay, and just understand, the efforts that you make, whatever efforts you decide are normal, are just to provide a natural cover story for the miracle that Hashem is going to make happen in your life. I think if you look at it that way, you'll be able to sort of make adjustments and figure out what kind of hishtadlus and how much hishtadlus is appropriate for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so if I may summarize, it almost sounds like, let's say someone wants to make money, and they say, well, God can do anything, so I don't need to go to work in order to make money. But, we don't live in a world of miracles. We live in a world of nature. So according to nature, the person needs to apply for a job and sit in an office because he needs to proactively be engaged in some sort of narrative to create a kli to catch the money.
Right. Right.
So it's the same thing with Shidduchim. It's the same formula. It's just a different picture.
Exactly. But by the same token, it doesn't mean that he should work 2 jobs or he should work extra hours. Make a vessel that makes sense. Again, it can't be miraculous. If the only way your plan can work is with a miracle, then that's not considered sufficient hishtadlus. Although there's an asterisk, there's a disclaimer for that. It will work for crazy people. And I'm 100% serious. If your bitachon is real to the extent where you really feel that's adequate hishtadlus for you, then it will be. The reality is, though, for most of us, it's just too weird for us. And just for our own sense of responsibility, we do need a little bit more hishtadlus just to feel like it's normal. But if somebody were in total like miracle mode and believed it, really believed it, then it would be okay for them.